both the Oversight and Foreign Affairs Committees. Congressman, let's get right to the issue. The president's attorneys are going to head with the president's own Department of Justice. Where is this standoff heading?
Well, the United States has a real moment of truth here. Are we a nation of laws or of men? No man is above the law. We established that in Watergate. We're going to have to reestablish it in the era of Trump. But the legal process, in my view, and that of most of my colleagues here in Congress, I think, needs to play out.
Some of the president's allies, as you just heard Evan report, believe that this Michael Cohen investigation in the Southern District of New York, the U.S. attorney investigating there, poses an even bigger threat to the president than Robert Mueller's Russia probe. How do you see it?
I don't know if that's true, but I do know that today's announcement that Sean Hannity was the third client, to me, deserves a lot of attention. Sean Hannity has been among the lowest of the low, wrestling in the mud of birther conspiracies, Seth Rich conspiracies about the young man who tragically was murdered here in Washington, that maybe that was a different kind of murder. All kinds of conspiracy theories about Hillary Clinton, distributing false and fake news left and right. And now what we learn is, as he's defending the president's lawyer on television, he has a conflict of interest, an ethical conflict of interest. He is one of those clients. He never revealed that. And I think that's a big stain on certainly Mr. Hannity, but also Fox News.
So what do you think Fox News should do?
I think they ought to fire Sean Hannity. I think he is so into this, like a pig into mud, he can't get out of it. And I think he deserves to be fired. He cannot, his word can never again be trusted, given the fact that he consciously did not reveal this relationship.
Even if there was no money exchanged between himself and Michael Cohen, he said he got some advice, and then in this tweet he just posted, he said it was on real estate matters.
Yeah, I heard the clip you played, Wolf, but he then invoked the phrase client-attorney privilege. You can't have it both ways. If you're not a client, then you're not entitled to client-attorney privilege. If you are entitled to that privilege, you're a client, whether you paid money or not.
Yeah, he did say at the end of that little clip we played, and I assume that those conversations were attorney-client confidential.
That's right.
And he also made it clear, apparently over the weekend, based on what we heard in the courtroom, he didn't want his name to be released, but the federal judge, in this case Kimball Wood, made the lawyers for Michael Cohen release his name, and of course they did. You sit, Congressman, on the Oversight Committee. Is this a matter that Congress should be looking into?
Absolutely. And it's a tragic moment in congressional history that Republican leadership here wants nothing to do with any kind of oversight or investigation of the Trump administration. I guess they're exhausted from having done too much of it in the previous administration. But they see, hear, and speak no evil. So we're not looking at anything. We're not looking at conflicts of interest. We're not looking at security clearances. We're not looking at overspending. We're not looking at false travel. We're not looking at these kinds of ethical issues. We're not looking at hush payments to porn stars or long-term payments to long-term playmate affairs. I think it's a shame. I think the American people deserve a Congress that plays its constitutional role. We are abrogating that role right now in this Republican Congress.